Hi guys, so today I want to do a review, a comparison actually, on the e.l.f. Camo powder foundation and the Rimmel Lasting Finish Buildable Coverage powder foundation. I was really intrigued because I saw that this is a new powder foundation and I know that this is newish and I have yet to try it. I understand that they come with these sponge applicators, but unless you're touching up during the day, they're not a good product to kind of use. As these are two newer affordable powder foundations, I thought I'd kind of like compare half on one side and half on the other, because I adore powder foundation. It's one of my favourite products of all time. I've literally worn powder as a foundation since I was like 13. I actually used to use the Rimmel Stay Matte, which used to dry my skin out no end. No wonder I used to have really bad skin. So it'll be interesting to see what this one's like. Definitely a lot yellower. This one's actually very much my skin tone. This was like the closest, I think. It looks a lot more yellow on camera. I don't know why. It's actually a lot paler. So I'm going to put a cream eyeshadow, put on my cream contour because I always cream contour even if I'm using a powder foundation. I wanted to show you like my skin with nothing at all before. What are you doing? That's not scratching post, is it? My skin, I do have like some redness, some pigmentation from where I had like really bad acne scars. Oh yeah, I've got to do my concealer as well. Wow. Hi. Then I'll come back to show you the powder foundations as they apply throughout all stages. So yeah, I'll be back. I used some concealer to conceal under my eyes, a little bit here around my nose quite a bit, a little bit on the high points of my cheeks, the centre of my face here. But all of this part is completely unconcealed. I just have a bit of contour, and around my jawline, which will be blended out with my powder foundation. I would normally use a super condensed brush, but to save cleaning, I'm going to use a powder puff. My Essence one I was actually using for pressed powder underneath my eye, and it's currently due to be washed. Otherwise I would use the affordable version rather than this. But okay, cool. So I'm going to use the Rimmel on this side and e.l.f. on this side. So I don't know what either of these textures are going to be like. Rubbing this in to get a nice amount of product. Oh, do what I would normally do is kind of like press. Baba, you're rubbing your butt on me. What are you doing? I'm literally just pressing it in. He's so on tension right now. I don't like to put a huge amount on my forehead because I have a birthmark and I actually really like my birthmark. I'm pretty proud of my birthmarks. And I'm going around my nose. So you can see already how much coverage it's given me. You can see a little bit of my pores, but then I didn't use a pore defining primer. I just used my NYX Bear With Me Casper. I like powder foundations because I can literally just throw them on. I'm not expecting full coverage. Like most powder foundations don't give you that unless you're like really caking it on. This is very pink actually. No, here, I don't think it's coming across on camera. In real life, my skin looks quite pink. So let's see if the more yellow tone works for me. What I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to flip this and use the clean side. So, oh, this one's way more powdery. Did exactly the same thing, swirled and pressed. And this one kicked up a lot more powder than the Rimmel one. So if you're, whoa. I feel like this one's going to give me a lot more coverage. I don't think this is going to be super obvious, but I think it is going to be. I'm hoping once I've got like everything else on. I don't even think I need to go in for a second dip. That's weird. So for some reason, I don't know if it's because the amount that was on here, it's like really cakey in like a little spot. I don't know how well that's just going to show up. That might be due to the amount. Because it was like, it's so loosely pressed. Casper, can you just... Hey? What are you doing? You're half on, half off, hey? Yeah, whereas this side, I mean, I don't see any cakiness on this side, but this side I've got like this cakey patch. I've not pressed back into this powder. I'm just going to just grab just a little bit, just to go around my eyebrows, because I feel like, well, my brow, sorry. Just because I feel like I had like a little patch. This one's more loosely pressed. I think this one gave me much more coverage immediately, but I do see more cakiness. And around my mouth. I'll do the rest of my makeup and I'll let you know once I'm finished how it kind of fared, because I'm hoping this sort of cakiness will be covered when I've done my blush and stuff like that. I'll let you know if my highlighter goes on funny or anything like that as well. I think I can kind of get away with the difference in colour, but here it just looks a lot pinker than here. I don't think you'd immediately be able to see that I'm using two different coloured powder foundations, so we're going to chance it today. So, I did all my makeup. This is, I don't think it's super obvious that I'm wearing two different foundations. So we're all good then. What are you doing? I didn't even hear you jump up. You just appeared. I want you guys to see my face close up. I did use a setting spray, the same one I used to prime my face. This one, because I'm obsessed with this at the moment. Now I put my blush and my highlight over this part, it's not as cakey. I'm just trying to see if one's got more coverage than the other. No, they both look about the same. I just think that this one didn't, as you can see, that kicked up a tiny amount, but you can't really tell now because I used, it kicked up a lot of powder. So I think this is just a bit more looser pressed. Let me have a quick look at how many grams you get for each. This has got how many grams in it? Oh, this is vegan! Oh, well done. This has got 10 grams and this has got 8 grams. I would have thought, considering this is so much bigger, you would have thought this had more than this, but this has got more product than this. But I feel like you would use more of this to get the same amount of coverage as this. I think they're both about $9.99. So the Rimmel one is $9.99. The e.l.f. powder foundation is £11. Really? This is actually more expensive than this one. And you get less product than this one, but it does give you a shitload of coverage. So we'll see how and it did seem a little bit more cakey than this one. So this says it will last for 6 months once opened. This says it will last for 30 months once opened. That's a long time. That's like 2.5 years? 2.5 years. I mean, I go through powder foundation so quickly, which is why I thought I'd just grab 2 more, because you hit pan so quick on powder foundations when you use them, even for a couple of days a week. So yeah, I'm going to see how these fare through the day. I will say I'm not doing anything strenuous today. I just need to run to Pets at Home. But yeah, so I'm going to be in my car. I may be perspiring a little bit, but I'll let you know throughout the day how I get on. But I'm not going to take this off until a lot later tonight, so you can see how it fares. So yeah, I will see you guys soon. Guys, it is now 8:30. I've had my foundations on for a long time, so I'm looking greasy. This is what happens when I don't powder during the day, is that I get super oily. I'm an very oily girl. It's not an obvious difference that I'm wearing 2 different foundations, I will say. It is starting to split a little bit. Like break apart around my mouth. Just where, even with liquid foundations, you can literally see the oil breaking apart the foundation. I don't know, you see those things in those kind of videos from like the Arctic, and there's like pieces of like big sheets of ice like breaking off from the bigger pieces of ice. It's like that. It's literally like it's breaking apart the bonds. So I have accidentally knocked my nose a couple of times, but also I scratched here, so I'm not putting that down to the foundation. My contour looks pretty good on this side and on this side, so my blush and highlight isn't too bad on either, to be honest. Just for clarity, if anyone saw my Halsey about face video, and if you remember that black eyeshadow, I've had this eyeshadow on for longer, and that's now 4:10. That's got to be at least like 2 to 3 hours since I filmed my video. And as you can see, there is complete crease here and a complete crease here. I will say it definitely looks heavier around my chin on the e.l.f. side, but the majority of the rest of my face looks the same. This is a lightweight, non-drying, buildable coverage powder that lasts all day, transfer proof, sweat resistant, controls shine. No dear. This one doesn't say on here. Let me have a look on the e.l.f. website. Ace your base with with e.l.f. Cosmetics Camo Powder Foundation. This primer infused buildable airbrush finish powder foundation is the perfect match for that even semi-matte finish. Available in a range of shades, this medium to full coverage powder. Medium to full, this is basically just full. I would say that this is probably closer to the Aquassurance powder that is hard to get hold of. It's the J-Cat powder. You can literally only get it on Amazon in the UK. We're slowly getting more and more brands, but not all the time. I will say that e.l.f. has a shitload more shades, I would expect, than Rimmel, because Rimmel... I will always have a soft spot for Rimmel because, firstly, I don't think they're talked about enough. I do like this. I probably will equally reach for each. I don't know which one I would repurchase, to be honest. But they both do a really good job. I genuinely don't really see any difference between either, considering how fucking oily I am. I would say whichever one has the best shade for you is probably the one you should go for. If Rimmel has a shit shade range and you can find a better shade in e.l.f., go for e.l.f. But just know that it can be slightly cakey. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you feel like it. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to try to post more makeup content in between, reaction and commentary content, because these videos are easier to get out. My commentary videos and reaction videos I try to be very thorough, and that takes a lot of time. So these ones, at least I can speed through and get out through editing a lot faster. So yeah, if you do enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe. But I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye.